So today, the stock market didn't do too well after its historic rally yesterday, but there were some really interesting price action, specifically with some quantum stocks. I want to go over kind of the movement that seems to be decoupling itself a little bit from the wider tech index. And I also want to talk about cybersecurity plays like Arqit and SealsQ. ARQQ has had a really nice couple days in the stock market, and we're going to go over some news catalysts and why that's happening. And SealsQ, LAES, remains a solid early phase entry for quantum cybersecurity. We do know that eventually there's going to be a time where quantum safe encryption, post-quantum encryption, and post-quantum cybersecurity is going to be a very, very important theme to protect our data. So we're going to cover a lot in today's episode. If you haven't already, please consider leaving a like or subscribe. Let's jump right in. All right, guys. So I have the heat map pulled up today, and it is ugly. It's ugly, but it wasn't. It was kind of like I don't know how to say this. We took 10 steps forward and we took 3 or 4 steps back today is what ended up happening. So Google is down 4%, Microsoft 2s, Meta 6, Nvidia, and everything sold off a bit. And there is and continues to be a considerable amount of fear in the market. In fact, let's just take a look at the fear and greed index. So we're at an 8, and I've seen this at a 4 in the last few days. So let's jump right into talking about the quantum apocalypse, as this author over at Wired says. So what happens when quantum computers can finally crack encryption and break into the world's best kept secrets? It's called Q Day, the worst holiday maybe ever. And I've covered this theme or this topic a few times. So are we quantum safe? So if you go back in the channel and you want to learn more about it, are we quantum safe is a good video. And I also talk about it in this Q Day video. So if you're interested specifically in quantum cybersecurity, then go check that out. In today's video, I'm covering a couple tickers that I think are good plays in quantum cybersecurity. So let's take a look at our first one. So Arqit. Before we even look at Arqit, let's take a look at our quantum stocks. So I have quantum stocks pulled up here. And what was interesting is we saw some asynchronous movement with the NASDAQ. When the NASDAQ was moving down, we've usually seen quantum move down as well. But we actually saw some tickers trade flat today while the wider market was pretty significantly down. So we see in this video, we're going to cover ARQQ in more in depth. Had a 7% day, and at one point it was at 15%. So macro conditions definitely pulled that down. Rigetti actually eked out a green day despite the wider market sell-off. QBTS traded completely flat, not up or down. So it's holding that 720. And QUBT also held its position. IonQ made some significant gains yesterday, but didn't give back too much. In fact, most of these quantum stocks or quantum adjacent stocks kind of held pretty strong today in the market, which is a sign that you like to see. So who is Arqit? Arqit supplies a unique quantum safe symmetric key agreement encryption platform, which makes the communication links of any network device, cloud machine, or data secure against current and future forms of attack, even from a quantum computer. So that's kind of their business, is protecting other businesses and people's information from a quantum attack. So what has been driving the recent price increase in ARQQ? Well, they've had a few news items that have been part of propelling them forward in this market. So First, from April 8th, which is 2 days ago, global tier 1 telco operator signs 3-year agreement with Arqit to secure its quantum safe network, NAAS. Any network guys out there? Is this a big deal? You tell me. So Arqit announced a global tier 1 telco operator has signed a 3-year contract. The telco operates in 32 countries, providing secure digital infrastructure with a backbone spanning over 600 kilometers of fiber. Arqit's quantum safe network secure technology will be deployed as part of its network as a service suite. This agreement marks a major step in securing enterprise and government communications against emerging cyber threats, including those posed by quantum computing. That wasn't the only article. So Arqit also had this piece of news come out that they released. RSG purchases test and integration license from Arqit to deliver quantum secure networks and prepare for commercial scale deployment. So this was actually a headline that hit today. A leader in quantum safe encryption announces RSG Telecom, an industry leader in providing state-of-the-art telecommunications solutions, has signed a test and integration license for Arqit's Network Secure to bring cutting-edge symmetric key cryptography technology to secure both its public and private sector networks. So there's a lot going on in the market right now, and sometimes it's hard to catch all of these little things that are happening, but quantum as a theme is moving forward in many different ways. And I cover this type of content all the time, and I try to catch these little details for you so you can stay informed. Let's look at the price action for ARQQ. So we can see that during the initial quantum frenzy last year after Google Willow, they actually touched $24 a share. And they've had a significant sell-off through macro conditions, through the quantum crash, and for other reasons. But most quantum tickers, if you look at them closely, would follow somewhat of a similar pattern. But it does look like ARQQ found its bottom or support right here around $12 after lots of selling. So let's see if I'm capable of drawing a line. I believe in myself. I can do this. Line, click, click. Okay, so $11 it touched at one point, but I would say that probably $12 was more of its support here. And then in the last 2 days, so we always want to look to the left, zoom out, see the whole story. Let's just look at the week. So then we can see that in the weekly view, there's been a significant move off of this news. So let's measure that move. So from our bottom on Wednesday to our top today, we've seen a 30% move. And macro was really pushing the whole market down. So ARQQ definitely wanted to go higher today. It just was having a hard time in the market we're currently in. We can see that if we look at the day chart. So we open here and we just shoot up on the news that we talked about, a little bit of sell-off. We want to go higher, and then it's oppressive. The market's just oppressive and it sells down, but it is our quantum ticker that ends in the green today. So still pretty awesome. All right, let's take a look at LAES, SealsQ. So I've got an article pulled up here for LAES SealsQ. Thompson Quantum AI partners with SealsQ to equip 60,000 of their hardware devices, computers, laptops, servers, all in one with advanced post-quantum security technology. So this just came out, let's see, April 8th, so just 2 days ago. And we know that SealsQ